everyone, welcome to the Talk with Connie. On this episode, we'll visit with Barbara Tucker. You may know her as the Director of Communications at Dalton State College, but did you know she's also an author? In fact, today we're going to dive into her new novel called Lying In, a work of fiction focusing on families, their secrets, joys, and struggles. And later, Amy Hartline, the Director of Keep Dalton Whitfield Beautiful, is here to talk about upcoming and ongoing community projects. Meet Barbara and Amy on the other side of the break. Welcome back to the Talk. As promised, I'm here with Barbara Tucker. Welcome back, Barbara.
Glad to be here, Connie.
It's been a while, and you have a new book, and it's called Lying In. I'm going to grab it right here. Guys, this is Lying In, the most recent book by Barbara. Now, Barbara, you are over communications at Dalton State College.
Yes, in the Department of Communication and with the students.
Yep. So we know a lot of the same people, and people are in the writing community as well as film and TV and all of that, and nobody ever has anything but wonderful things to say about you. So,
Okay, thank you. That's good to know.
With that said, tell us about Lying In.
This is my 10th novel, and it is probably the closest to my own experience in my heart.
Oh.
It's based on stories, not in my family, but stories my family told me about women in Appalachia 100 years ago, back when it was really rough. Life was hard on women, life was hard on men. And this is set in southwestern Virginia in a county called Dickinson County, where my mother grew up and where my roots go back to prior to the Civil War. And the story is based on a woman who, her living, what she does for a living is such as it is to go from home to home and take care of the families of women who have babies. Because having a baby then was at home, and it was very tough, and the women needed a month or so, a few weeks to recuperate, and they couldn't be going back to doing all the work around with the other children and the cooking and the cleaning and everything. So this woman, Telly Barlow, she does that for a living. And she's done it for about 10 years, and she has a disfiguring condition. It's an actual disease, but at the time they didn't have a name for it. And so she's a little bit of an outcast in the society, in the community, but people trust her to do what she does. And she is getting ready one morning in October in 1918 to go to her next family. They're poor, to help the mother who's going to have her 6th child. One of them has died already. And she gets there, and it's the start of what we have come to call the Spanish flu epidemic, or pandemic. We're not really calling it that anymore because it wasn't from Spain. And what had happened is that it started in the armed forces bases in the Middle West, and the soldiers were being shipped through the mountains to the coast to go to Europe for the end of World War I, and they all were sick, and they didn't know it, and the disease spreads, and it spreads into the Appalachian community, and she goes to her next home, and the parents are both dead soon from the flu, and she's left alone, isolated at this time with the children. And that's the start of the story, more or less, and what happens.
That's a powerful story.
I'm very pleased with it. I've gotten good response to the story.
So, and you base this on, or at least the feel of the stories you grew up hearing?
Yes, my mom talked about the women who would do that even when she was younger, before people were going to hospitals in that time, because it is a very remote area. And my grandmother talked about what it was like during this Spanish flu epidemic or pandemic, and that people were scared. You know, we went through a pandemic and people were scared. And this one, I don't want to compare because disease is disease, but they didn't have any drugs for it. They didn't have any really knowledge about in that area what the virus was, or that it was a virus, what was causing it. They just knew that people were terribly sick. And the interesting thing about it, and I had to do a lot of research to write the book, is that it killed people 20 to 40 years old. You know, we think of COVID as mostly killing older people, but not the children. This one didn't kill the children. It killed 20 to 40-year-old people, which would be the parents. Wow. And so there were a lot of children left orphaned. And the reason was that what the virus did, it's an H1N1 virus, it attacked it overstimulated the immune system so that the immune system sort of attacked people. And it was a pretty gruesome kind of death for most people.
That is wild.
Very tough.
I was doing research several years back for a book that I never finished, but I saw pictures in Chickamauga of over there at the pond downtown. It was covered with people who had the Spanish flu,
right.
if you want to call it that. Well, you've already explained that.
Yeah.
But it was, I didn't even know that we had been affected prior to that in this area, but we were.
Oh, yes, everyone was. It was much, again, not to compare diseases, but it was much, much worse than people realize now, and how many people died. It was very global.
Wow. And this is your 10th book, right?
Yes.
So which one has been your favorite so far?
Oh, that's like asking me about my favorite children, but I only have one child, so. Each one is special in its own way. This one is special because it is tied to my Appalachian roots, and it is, I did do a lot of research on it.
Sure.
So it's a special story for me. And just to show it again, Carly Land of Colorful Crow Publishing did a beautiful job on this book. It's hardcover, my first hardcover. Beautiful cover.
Congratulations.
Very nicely laid out, and I'm just really proud of what it looks like as well as the story.
It looks amazing. And as you were telling the story, I was thinking, I hope you enter this in contests.
Yes, I need to do that.
Yeah, because the story sounds like it would be one that, widely appreciated. Yeah, and we love Carly here on The Talk with Connie. She did do a good job, and I can't wait to get my hands on this. I'll be buying a copy before you leave. How many words?
It's about 80,000
okay.
words.
I'm
not somebody who can write 150,000 words in a book.
80,000, though. I think my last one was, or my only full book was maybe 30 or 40. So that, and I know how much went into that. So wow.
Well,
wow.
It's fun. I like writing. I'm in a little bit of a rut right now, but I'm working on it.
Well, 10 books in, you couldn't be that big of a rut. Well, Barbara, thank you for coming out. How can people get a copy of Lying In?
Well, I would say you can get it from Amazon and from Barnes & Noble. It is on their sites. It's in Kindle form, and we all know Kindle's a little cheaper, and some people prefer Kindle. And you can get it that way. You can get it at the Colorful Crow Publishing website. You can get it from me personally on my website. And I'm going to put a little commercial in here. I go every Saturday to the Rabbit Valley Farmers Market in Ringgold.
Sweet.
And I really want to encourage people to go there. It's local farmers and other vendors who come. And it's like a little festival every weekend.
Oh, that sounds fun, and I wasn't even aware of it. So where would this be?
It is in Ringgold, in the town of Ringgold, near the depot. If people know where the depot is, which is very well known, they should be able to find it.
I wonder if they have canned homemade green beans. Do they have food there?
Yeah, they have food.
Okay.
They have pickles. I don't know about that. They might.
Okay, gotcha.
They might.
Gotcha. Okay, well, it sounds like something I'd love to check out.
Sure.
Definitely going to be reading your book. Thanks, Barbara Tucker.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back. I'm here with Amy Hartline. Hello, Amy.
Hello. I'm excited to be here today.
I'm so excited to have you on. We used to have you on more often in the past, but we both have crazy, busy, lots of stuff going on.
Yes. And lots of people to talk to. So,
Yeah. And just, gosh, you stay so busy with our local environment and things going on with that. So for those in our viewing audience who don't know, Tell us what your job is, what your jobs are.
So I wear a few hats, including this one. I am the recycling and education coordinator for our waste authority. So I handle all the marketing and fun education stuff with the recycling center. But with that, I'm also the executive director of Keep Dalton Whitfield Beautiful. And that's a nonprofit here in town. We've been going for about 30 years now. And we handle litter prevention and beautification projects and waste prevention and recycling and all of that stuff. So lots of different areas around the environment.
Right. You know, when I was a teenager and a kid growing up, people littered a lot more. People would just roll the window down, and it wasn't uncommon for you to see someone chuck a drink out the window. Do you think that has reduced? I don't see that anymore much.
Well, Keep America Beautiful, actually, about 4 years ago now, they did a 2020 national litter study. They do it about every 10 years or so, and they found a big reduction, which is great.
Sweet.
Now, we still see a lot of litter, but it's definitely been reduced significantly. Interestingly, the most littered item back in 2010 was cigarette butts.
Wow.
And that is still the case. Even with how much smoking has decreased, the cigarette butts are still our number one.
Well, I remember a while back you had this thing, this look like, what in my brain, it's like a British phone booth thing, and people could put their cigarettes in it. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. They did kind of look like a phone booth. I don't think we have any out right now, but those were really cool. You could kind of vote with your cigarette butt for different questions. So we had one that was like Miller Lite or Coors Light, different things like that. And that helped a little bit. We've had some things kind of since then. We've had the Art Can Inspire project, which was done by Abby Burt when she was in high school here. And it's really cool. If you've seen those wraps around town with Burt Park or Hagnell, that's from that project, and that's also reduced the litter a lot. So sometimes beautifying the trash can area is the way we get litter.
Yeah.
That's kind of the litter prevention side of things. And then we've also got the litter cleanup side of things. So one of the things for litter cleanup that we were going to talk about today is our Adopt a Mile program.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we've had that running for years and years now. It is one of our most prolific programs and probably one of our most important. What's really nice about Adopt a Mile is our organizations will adopt a mile, as the name suggests, and then they go out 4 times a year to do their cleanup. And when they do that, what we find as they keep continuing to clean it is that we see less and less trash as the years go by.
Nice.
So Shaw Industries has a few miles adopted. They have 3, and they have had them for years and years. They were probably our longest running sponsors of the program, and they come in and we can see through the years they've been doing it a significant reduction. And so it's really nice because not only are we picking up all that trash that then doesn't end up at somewhere like our Conasauga River, which is by hat today what we've got going on. It doesn't end up in our oceans. It doesn't end up in our waterways or hurting the animals. And it's it also is just more sightly. It's not very ugly and gross when people drive around our town. And so you have all of that, but then also people litter less because they see sometimes they drive by and see our volunteers out there cleaning up and they go, oh, well, somebody cares, really actually cares about this town. And so they don't want to litter when they know somebody cares. And 2, they don't want to litter. They don't want to be the only one that litters.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody knows littering is bad.
Yeah.
It's just, is it normalized or are they going to get caught? And so having this clean area and consistently making sure that it's clean, they're less likely to litter when it's somewhere that's clean. And we've only got about 13 miles adopted, so we're really trying to push it out this year because we'd like to see, we've got at least 150 miles in the city, and we've got a lot more than that in the county, so we'd love to see some more miles adopted. And you only have to go out 4 times a year, and you don't even have to go out in the summer months. It's not that bad,
Yeah, oh yeah.
So we really like to see some organizations. We've got some families that do it as like a family bonding activity 4 times a year. We give all the supplies. So that's probably one of our most prolific litter programs that we've got.
I love that. And you see the signs here and there. Adopt a Mile is just what you said. You adopt this mile from this point to this point, and your group, whether it's a church group, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, just a group of friends or a business. I mean, it's unlimited. Anybody can adopt a mile, and you make this commitment, and you feel good about what you've done, and you're doing something good for your community.
Yes, and we've had kids, as young as 3 participate.
I think that's great.
And we've had people, as old as 80 participate. So there's really, you aren't limited by how much you can do. You
Sure.
can do what you can do, and that's great.
And obviously, the bigger you make your group, the less work you got to do.
Exactly, yes. So invite your friends. Yeah.
Yeah, you can make it a whole thing. You can be like, okay, we're going to go clean our area, then we're going to barbecue and maybe go swimming or something. And I love that.
Exactly, yeah. So it's really one of our fantastic programs. One of the other things we've got going on right now is kind of on the beautification side. We have a Rooting for the Ridge program going on right now with Thrive. They have a Resilient Communities program, and we were chosen as one of the pilot programs, which is really fantastic. And so with part of that, we are sending out surveys, and you can go to keepdaltonwhitfieldbeautiful.org. It'll have the button right there to take the survey. And you just answer a few short questions about like the environment, if you've had any weather-related like accidents, like, you know, flooding or erosion or things like that in Dalton and Whitfield, anything you've had with that, we would love to hear. And the whole focus of that survey is about preserving and protecting our Rocky Face Ridge. It is this beautiful site. When you drive into Dalton, you see this beautiful forested ridge, and but it's also really important. It acts as like Dalton's air conditioner. It cools us down. It like helps make sure that our waterways stay clear. It keeps us from having landslides and erosions off those steep slopes. But it's not really protected, and a lot of people don't know the benefits of it. And so we're trying to get this survey out to kind of see what people are interested in, and also, you know, if you're having any weather-related issues.
That's really neat. So it's Dalton tell me again, the website.
Yeah, it's okay. It's Keep Dalton Whitfield Beautiful. So remember the Keep Beautiful, and then remember where you live, and then .org.
That sounds, yes. We'll do that. And how do you adopt a mile? What's the process?
So you'll go to that same site, and then on that site, it will have an Adopt a Mile tab. You click on it, and it has an application for adoption. You'll send that in to me. You can, some people will send it to me and say, oh, can you pick a mile? And I can, but honestly, we have so few adopted. I recommend you pick one and send what you like to have. You can probably get it.
Yeah, and that's so good for children. I wish that I had thought of that when my kids were younger, to get them involved and let them know, number one, you know, you're giving back. This is something we're doing, not just for ourselves, because a lot of times we're thinking about what can we do for ourselves, but what can we do for everyone around us?
And it's really cool for kids too, and one of the reasons our like businesses tend to like it, but our kids especially, this is one of our old Adopt a Mile signs, but our new ones are really nice and pretty, and at the bottom of the sign, it will have like your family name. So you can say like the Scalf family or the Herndon family, and that's a really cool moment.
Yeah, and it's something your children can be proud of when they drive by and see the sign.
Yes.
You have one of their friends in the car, hey, look, there's our mile.
Yes.
I love it. I love everything you do. And Amy, you're so creative.
Sometimes. You are the one to talk about that. I don't know that I'm as creative as you are, but I try.
You're so creative in all the all the things that you implement, like with the kids, recycle bin.
Oh, yes, yeah, we have our recycling bin mascot, so we actually are gearing up for our America Recycles Day billboard contest with the Recycling Center, so that starts next month. Our middle school students, every middle school student in Whitfield County can submit anything, go to that same website, you'll see it there. But that is one of our big pushes. Our kids love it. We see they like 4,000 or 5,000 kids a year. And it's a really great, fun, it makes recycling fun. And sometimes that's hard to make trash fun, but we do our best.
You do, I don't know if you would call it field trips. Do you have kids come out to sites?
Yeah, we do field trips. So we have our kids come in. So teachers, this is a great one because it's free. But the kids come in, they spend about an hour and a half. They see the recycling center. They see the landfill. We call it the trashy tour, that part. And then they also have 30 minutes. They come up and do some like fun, connected activity with me. So sometimes we'll do like tree yoga and talk about what trees, like what we make from trees. Sometimes we'll do recycling relays. We have a really fun one called the Vulture Festival, and we learn all about the nastiness but greatness of vultures. Yeah. Did you know that they throw up on their enemies?
No, I didn't.
Coming at them, they'll throw up on them because they've got really burning throw up.
That adds to their beauty, right?
And the second grade boys, ooh, they love that. Yeah.
Oh, I bet they do.
That's a good field trip for those.
Hey, you talk about, there's some things we could say about vultures.
Yes.
that are integral to throw up. It gets worse, right?
Oh yeah. So to cool down, their legs, if you ever look at one, they'll be white. So the reason that it's white is because when they need to cool down in the summer, they'll pee on themselves or they'll poop on themselves.
Oh
and
my
it turns their
gosh.
legs white. But they are also very important because they're our scavengers. So they're kind of like nature's janitors. They clean up all these dead animals that would make other animals really sick, but it doesn't make them sick. And so it really helps protect the other animals and also our noses. So big thank you to our vultures.
Yeah, takes a village, right?
Yes.
Well, Amy, thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I hope,
Thank you for having me.
oh, my pleasure. And I hope you guys will adopt a mile and find out more about what's going on. Amy, we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely.
And the rest of you, I'll be right back. Thank you for joining the talk today. Shout out to my guests, Barbara Tucker and Amy Hartline. Find them both on social media. You can watch current and past episodes of The Talk on the Talk with Connie YouTube channel. Please be sure to subscribe while you're there. Also, keep up with The Talk with Connie on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, be kind, be prosperous, and be happy.